Miscellaneous equipments. Miscellaneous equipments are also called as auxiliary equipment. Now, auxiliary equipment, by definition, any material handling equipment or machine that is involved in some sort of movement of materials like transportation, conveyance, etc. However, there are many other equipments or gadgets which are used in the field of material handling but are not directly or independently used for moving the material. So that is the main point of miscellaneous equipment, that is not directly or independently used for the movement of material. So hence they cannot be termed as material handling equipment. But these very large group of items are used in conjunction with the conventional material handling equipment to make them function better, more efficient and more versatile. Without some of these, certain functions of the handling equipment would not be possible at all. These equipments or gadgets are called auxiliary material handling equipment or miscellaneous equipment. The various attachment of forklift truck or different crane attachments like hook, grabs, tongs, grab buckets, etc. are examples of miscellaneous equipments or auxiliary equipments. There exist innumerable number of auxiliary equipment. Many of these auxiliary equipments are of the standard design and are specifications, and also they are built by specialist manufacturers. There are also many auxiliary equipment which are application specific and are developed by the user organization. Now we shall see the different miscellaneous equipments. The first one is a gate. So gates are used in conjunction with various bulk material storage hoppers to close or open the outlet and adjust the discharge of materials in batches from the hoopers. According to the principle of operations, the gates are divided into three main groups, that is a slide gate, trough gate and pivoted gate. Now on the top you can see the figure of the gates. The first one on the left side starting is a slide gate. You slide, there is different arrows. See, different arrows are there. So the slide will move down or horizontal, or then the material will move accordingly. Now the next one is the trough gate. This is a figure, and third one is pivoted gate. So slide gate is a flat plate valve which slides in guides and is actuated by hand operated or rack, pinion or lever mechanism. The design is simple, but the material load, it may be difficult to move the gate. These slideways may be blocked or lumped of material and has a tendency to wedge when the gate is closed. These gates are therefore generally used with small lumped free-flowing materials and where gate operation is infrequent. That is a slide gate. Next one is trough gate. Trough gate consists of a trough hinged at the hooper outlet. When trough is in raised position, it keeps the outlet closed, but when lowered, it allows the flow of material through the trough as a chute. Trough gates exclude jamming and allow control of flow. Its large height projecting below hooper outlet and the force required for closing are the disadvantage. That means in trough gate it has an inclined position. Then the trough gate, when it's open, the material will flow. Either it will be a levered operation, either it may slide or it may be a levered operation. Now the next one is the pivoted gate. In pivoted gate is a large part of cylindrical plate moved around its horizontal axis, which can be pivoted easily up and down to close or open the hooper outlet. The gate may be of one or two sectors. This type of gate can be operated with less effort but not good for controlling the material flow rate. Now in pivoted gate, what happens is that there is this gate that is pivoted. It can be easily opened and closed, but the disadvantage is that it cannot have a good material flow rate. Now the gates means there will be some kind of hindrance in the chute, and it can be either slided or in a trough, that is material, the gate can be lowered or raised, and it can be pivoted. So based on the construction, the main three types are slide, trough and pivoted. Another type of miscellaneous equipments are feeders. Powered feeders are used for continuous and controlled flow of bulk materials from a storage to a material handling equipment or to a processing equipment. Bulk material feeders are generally installed near the outlet of a material hooper and serve to unload the hooper in a controlled rate. The desired flow is achieved by varying infinitely the rate of operation of the loading element. Different types of feeders are used primarily depending on the properties of the materials like lump size, flowability, specific weight, and also on flow rate, hooper shape, etc. The major types of feeders are belt feeders, apron feeders, screw feeders, oscillating feeders, vibrating feeders, rotary disc feeders, and bowl feeders. The first type is belt feeders. Belt feeders are small length flat belt conveyor, the working side of belt being supported by closely spaced idle rollers and no support for the return belt. The conveyor is provided with stationary skirt boards. Belt speed is low. The belt feeder is just put below the outlet of a hooper with a flow control valve which regulates the flow. Belt feeders are used for granular, small size and less often for medium lumped materials. Now here we can see the belt feeders, two kind of configuration, that is a horizontal and inclined. This one is a horizontal belt feeders where the belt is horizontally aligned, and in the figure B you can see the inclined alignment of the belt. So it's an inclined belt feeders. So based on the configuration we can use the belt feeders for granular, small size and less often for medium lumped materials. Next one is apron feeders. They are similar to belt feeders, may be installed horizontal or inclined, where the belt conveyor is replaced by an apron conveyor. An apron feeder is directly placed under the outlet of a hooper without any valve. The speed of the feeder is infinitely variable from 0.05 to 0.25 meters per second to control the discharge flow rate. This type of feeder is generally used for heavy, medium to large sized materials. Next one is a screw feeder. Screw feeders are used for materials which do not deteriorate on crushing. These are essentially small length screw conveyors. Next one is oscillating feeders. Oscillating feeders consist of a horizontal or slightly declined table with sideboards placed below the hooper outlet. The table is given a reciprocating motion, that is either from a 50 to 175 millimeter at a frequency ranging from 20 to 60 strokes per minute. In the forward motion, it carries some material forward, but during return stroke, the material cannot go back due to dam of material from the hooper and therefore spills over front edge of the table. Next one is a vibrating feeders. Vibrating feeder consists of a trough or tube mounted on a stiff base frame with springs in between to convey bulk material through vibration. Inclination and stiffness of spring determine the vibrating angle and position of resonance. In disc feeder, it consists of a motor-driven disc-shaped table, a telescopic spout fitted with the outlet of the hooper above, and a scraper blade which can be radially fed in or out of the disc. The table is rotated slowly. Telescopic spout is adjusted to keep the desired gap between spout and the table, and then the blade is adjusted to position to allow a definite amount of material formed below the spout mouth to be scraped and fed below. That is, if we see, this one is a disc feeder wherein a rotary disc is being made and there is a scraper. So the scraper is adjusted so that the required amount of material from the hooper will be transmitted through the rotating disc. It keeps on rotating and there is a telescopic movement for moving up and down. So based on the scraper alignment, it will be fallen to the next required path. The last type of feeders are bowl feeders. So rotary or vibrating bowl feeders are used for feeding small components into high speed processing equipment. Various designs of feeding bowls are used to suit different sized and shaped components. The next type of miscellaneous equipments are chutes. So chutes are inclined connections between two systems of material handling equipment or production equipment in the form of trough, which is shown the below. So in the form of trough or definite geometrical cross section or pipes which convey unit or bulk load by gravity. A chute may connect two conveying mechanisms to process equipment or may be installed between one material handling equipment and another processing equipment. Depending on the load to be handled, chutes are made of various shapes, size and material. The first type of chute is trough. For bulk material, rectangular or round shaped trough are used. These may be lined by cast iron or hard plates or glass tiles for abrasive material. Bowl feeders to processing equipments are always connected by trough-like chutes to deliver components. In correct orientation to the exact location, suitable change in cross-section or cut out left on the chute can correctly orient the components or discard the defective or wrongly oriented component. So these troughs are attached in the chutes or even the different kinds of feeders. Troughs are there so that the correct alignment of the trough can take the right component and the wrong component in material handling equipment for the selection process. Pipes are used for dusty or liquid material. Swinging pipe is used to distribute the material along a circular path. Ladders and spiral chutes. These are used to lower loads vertically. They retard velocity of descent and prevent landing of loads with impact. Transfer slides. These are used to roll unit loads of round shape down an incline by gravity. They generally comprises of two rigid guides made of round or profile steel mounted on a framework. The loads roll over and are also guided by the two guides. So in total, the sum total tells that the feeders, chutes, troughs, etc. help the main material handling equipment for the material transport. So they are actually the ancillary or accessory elements, the miscellaneous equipments to support the material handling equipment as well as the production system. So they are an inevitable part of the material handling system design, so that we have to design and select based on the standard configurations or based on a special configuration as per your need.